Good morning and welcome back to Questioning Sense with me, Matt. Okay, still in January, still another really mild January day today actually, which is a bit puzzling. So basically, while it is mild, I'm not wearing the heavy winter fragrances that I assumed I would be. I'm wearing a lot more sort of autumnal or maybe even spring fragrances, which I wasn't really prepared for, but there you go. It does mean I'm getting to explore some of my fragrances I don't wear as much. And today we're going to talk about one from the house of Jovoy. And today we're going to be talking about L'Enfant Terrible. Now, before we go any further, I would just like to make yet another apology for my very poor pronunciation of in French. You know, if you've seen a few of my videos, you'll know that I regularly butcher many languages, and French seems to be the one that I give the most or do the most damage to. So there you go. Okay, so today I'm wearing this fragrance. I wore it this morning and I'm going to spray a bit more for the purposes of the review, as you would expect and has become traditional. So here we have L'Enfant Terrible by Jovoy. All the Jovoy fragrances that I have seen and tried come in these wonderful bottles, and they are very fingerprint heavy, but they're beautiful. They're so solid. I mean, the caps on these, you could really do some damage with these. They're just bang, you know, they're really, really solid. The presentation is excellent. Sprayers are great. They give a humongous amount of spray out. See if you can see that. Now, as I said, I wore this morning on the school run and got a compliment, which is always very nice from one of the mums. So that was always a good thing. And I've obviously just sprayed a bit now. So this came out in 2011, and the nose behind it is Jacques Floyd. And this is a really, really interesting fragrance. And when I read the note listings out, if you're not familiar with this, you'll kind of be scratching your head a bit. Because on paper, I should not like this fragrance. It's got quite a lot of materials used in there that I don't normally get on with, and two in particular. But they're just so well blended in this. It makes for a really, really exciting fragrance. So if we look at the top, the notes are just listed as herbaceous, very spicy nutmeg, coriander. And then in the middle, you have cumin, sandalwood, cedar, orange tree, and date. And then on the base, you have musk. So what do you get? You get a very, very spicy opening. All the focus seems to be on the coriander, the nutmeg, and then the cumin comes in. But this note of date is always present, especially in the sort of opening. You've got this semi-gourmandish. Now, when it comes to I mean, some people would call this a gourmand. I don't, because to me, for me, and I may be on my own here, this may be something that I've just made up, but my understanding of a gourmand is something that you would want to eat. Now, this does have a lot of food-related notes within it, but I certainly wouldn't want to eat this. But yeah, and it doesn't make my mouth water or anything like that. So to some people this will be a gourmand, and to me not quite. Semi-gourmandish would be the best way I would put it. But what you have is a very, very spicy opening, and it's a heavy fragrance. It does go clonk onto my skin, and it sits there and it's heavy. However, there's something in this that makes it heavy yet fizzy. I get almost like I don't think there's aldehydes in it, but sometimes when I wear a fragrance that's heavy with aldehydes, it does feel quite fizzy. And this, I get a real fizz on my skin. Again, this may just be down to me. I don't know if you're going to experience the same sort of sensation, but I do. And it's all about the spices and this note of date, and it's a real simulation of date. It doesn't feel synthetic at all. It doesn't smell synthetic at all. It smells like a spicy date, a bowl of spicy dates. Not overly sweet, but there is some sweetness there. Beautiful. Now, the reason this is called L'Enfant Terrible, my understanding of it is reference to the cumin. So, L'Enfant Terrible, naughty child, or terrible kid, or terrible child. The cumin is supposedly the terrible child, and cumin is normally a note when I see it, I run for the hills. I don't get on with it in many fragrances. I do in some, but for the most part, cumin on my skin smells like body odor. It doesn't work for me, and it doesn't work well with the rest of the fragrance. But with this, the blending of it and the usage of it, because it kind of makes an appearance, it's quite dramatic as it arrives. You have this sort of these herbaceous notes, the nutmeg and the coriander, and then boom, cumin kind of comes in. But it comes in a really nice way. It's not oppressive, and it certainly doesn't smell like body odor on me. It smells amazing. It's intoxicating. It's rich. It smells opulent. You smell wealthy when you. This is the fragrance of a rich middle-aged man, effectively. And I'm neither, so I don't know why I'm wearing it, but I do because I really like it. There's something about this that's excellent. Sandalwood, cedar, and orange tree. Now, most orange notes, again, I don't get on with orange, but the orange is really quite prominent here. But it carries it all together so well. And obviously the sandalwood they've used is an absolute joy. On the subject of the sandalwood, I've reviewed quite a few sandalwood fragrances, and I'm a big lover of sandalwood. But whereas if you look at sort of Trumper's sandalwood cologne, or the one I've recently reviewed, which is on by Costume National, these are both very heavy sandalwood fragrances, and they both use spices to support the sandalwood. This is the complete reverse. The sandalwood is a base for the spices. This is all about the spices, especially for the first 3 or 4 hours. It's all there. And I wouldn't put this down as a classic sandalwood fragrance as well, because the cedar joins the sandalwood, so you have a kind of a melange of woods together to give a creamy, rich, woody base that's neither, it's not just about sandalwood, put it that way. The other notes all support it to make it just dreamy, to be honest. There is a time and a place for this one. I've never worn it. I mean, I've had it for quite a while, and as you can see, it's not one that I wear a lot, but it's one I do enjoy when I wear. But I don't wear it for work at all, and there's a reason for that. Not because of the smell, it smells amazing. This is for me a fragrance that I wear in the evening if I'm going out with my wife, if I'm going out for a meal, if I'm going down to the pub with my friends. This is perfect for that. And the reason I don't wear this to work is quite simple. The performance isn't good enough for me to wear to work. When I'm at work, I'm out for a good 10-12 hours, and this would get lost. The first 3 to 4 hours, maybe 3.5, would probably be the most accurate point. This is perfect. The projection is good, the sillage is excellent, and it's just there, and it crackles and fizzes and has that richness on your skin. It gives you presence, because this fragrance does have presence. It's a really interesting one. But after that, I'll be benevolent and say after the 4-hour mark, it just disappears. It becomes a very much a skin scent. It doesn't disappear from you completely. It doesn't quit or go away, but all the good stuff, all the projection, all the sillage, all the presence just goes. So I would be at work, and then all of a sudden I wouldn't feel like I was wearing a fragrance, which I just can't do at work, to be honest. If I'm going out to work, I want to smell and have a fragrance that stays with me for my entire working day. This can't do that. It just hasn't got the legs, which is a real shame. And on that note, this isn't the sort of thing I would normally buy or have in my collection, but to be completely honest, it smells so good, especially for that first couple of hours. I couldn't not own it, because it smells amazing, but performance is not great, which is a real shame for me, because if this projected for longer, if it had sort of twice the performance, this would be one that I would probably be on a 2nd or 3rd bottle of, because it does smell that good. It's that unique. Now, I have read people comparing it to Serge Luton's Féminité de Bois. I haven't smelt that, so I can't say yes or no. A lot of people on Fragrantica seem to think they smell very much alike. And if they do, that's great, because obviously the Luton's one is a lot more expensive than this. I'm not sure if you can still get 50ml bottles of this, but this, to buy from Jovoy in a 50ml format, was around the £70, and I think it's about £110 for 100ml. Now, I've got far too many fragrances, so I always tend to opt for a smaller bottle. A 30ml or 50ml kind of is where I want to be. So I didn't buy 100ml. And if I did have 100ml of it, I'll probably have it forever, because I don't wear it enough to warrant a bigger bottle. 50ml is about fine. I wouldn't wear this in the summer because for that first 3 hours, this is a heavy fragrance. It really is thunk. I think in the hot weather it wouldn't be very nice to wear. Cooler evenings, perfect. A summer's evening, probably you'd be okay. Autumn, winter, absolutely perfect for it. But just be aware the performance isn't brilliant. It's just such a shame. It kicks out so well for that first 3.5, and I will say 4 hours. But after that, it's a real skin scent, which is a real shame for me. Totally unisex, certainly for the more mature person, whether they be the more mature male or the more mature female. I couldn't see any young thrusters wearing it, not comfortably anyway. So certainly one for my age and maybe a bit older. So yeah, 21. Be careful with this because it's not going to be for everyone. The spiciness of it, the date note, the sandalwood, all make a very unique fragrance. And I know I have said it supposedly smells like another fragrance, but I haven't smelled that, so I can't confirm. And as I haven't smelt it, to me, this is pretty unique. Really interesting, don't get me wrong. I love it. I love the opening. I love that first few hours. It's perfect. And that's what I'm saying. If I'm going down the pub for a couple of hours, perfect fragrance for that. You can smell it, you can smell great, you can, be around, you've got a good cloud around you, everything is perfect. And then by the time the performance starts dropping off, you're well and truly on your way home. So that's where it sits for me. If I'm going out for a meal with a wife, it's perfect for that as well, because you'll be aware of it. By the time you're in the taxi on the way home or whatever, that's when it will start dying off. And that's perfect. So when you're home, it's gone, no problems. Shame about the performance, but a really interesting fragrance, and one that I hope you get a chance to try. Don't blind buy it. It's a bit weird, and it's not, you will certainly need to smell it before you make any kind of, attempt at purchasing. Get a sample of it. And a big thanks to the guys at Jovoy in Mayfair, because they stock this along with all the other Jovoy fragrances, all really good and well worth exploring. So listen, we are now 2 subscribers away from 500, so that's amazing. Something I didn't think would happen, and certainly not anything that we were aiming for. But for all those that have subscribed, thank you very much. It's really appreciated, and I don't know, it feels great making these videos knowing someone's actually watching them. So thanks very much, and we will see you on the next video. Cheers, thanks, and bye.